Dhammapada verse 79 Mahakappina Thera Wittu. The story of Thera Mahakappina. While residing at the Jetavana monastery, the Buddha uttered verse 79 of this book with reference to Thera Mahakappina. Mahakappina was king of Kukutawadi. He had a queen named Anoja. He also had 1,000 ministers to help him rule the country. One day, the king, accompanied by those 1,000 ministers, was out in the park. There, they met some merchants from Savatthi. On learning about the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha from these merchants, the king and his ministers immediately set out for Savatthi. On that day, when the Buddha surveyed the world with his supernormal power, he saw in his vision Mahakappina and his ministers coming towards Savatthi. He also knew that they were due for arahantship. The Buddha went to a place 120 yojanas away from Savatthi to meet them. There he waited for them under a banyan tree on the bank of the river Chandapaka. King Mahakappina and his ministers came to the place where the Buddha was waiting for them. When they saw the Buddha with 6 colored rays radiating from his body, they approached the Buddha and paid homage to him. The Buddha then delivered a discourse to them. After listening to the discourse, the king and all his ministers attained Sotapaddi fruition, and they asked the Buddha to permit them to join the order. The Buddha, reflecting on their past and finding that they had made offerings of yellow robes in a past existence, said to them, Ehi bhikkhu, and they all became bhikkhus. Meanwhile, Queen Anoja, learning about the king's departure for Savatthi, sent for the wives of the 1,000 ministers, and together with them followed the king's trail. They too came to the place where the Buddha was, and seeing the Buddha with a halo of 6 colors, paid homage to him. All this time, the Buddha, by exercising his supernormal power, had made the king and his ministers invisible, so that their wives did not see them. The queen therefore inquired where the king and his ministers were. The Buddha told the queen and her party to wait for a while, and that the king would soon come with his ministers. The Buddha then delivered another discourse. At the end of this discourse, the king and his ministers attained arahantship. The queen and the wives of the ministers attained Sotapaddi fruition. At that instant, the queen and her party saw the newly admitted bhikkhus and recognized them as their former husbands. The ladies also asked permission from the Buddha to enter the order of bhikkhunis, so they were directed to go ahead to Savatthi. There they entered the order, and very soon they also attained arahantship. The Buddha then returned to the Jetavana monastery accompanied by 1,000 bhikkhus. At the Jetavana monastery, Thera Mahakappina, while resting during the night or during the day, would often say, "Oh, what happiness! Ahosukham." The bhikkhus, hearing him saying this so many times a day, told the Buddha about it. To them, the Buddha replied, My son Kapina, having had the taste of the Dhamma, lives happily with a serene mind. He is saying these words of exaltation repeatedly with reference to Nibbana. Then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. Verse 79. He who drinks in the Dhamma lives happily with a serene mind. The wise man always takes delight in the Dhamma, Bodhipakkhya Dhamma, expounded by the noble ones, Ariyas.